The Ibrox stands erupted in fury as Rangers fans unleashed their anger on Russell Martin. But was this the moment that sealed the manager's fate, or are supporters being too hasty in their judgment? When Russell Martin boldly declared this Hearts clash would be the catalyst for Rangers' season revival, he probably didn't imagine it might instead become the final nail in his managerial coffin. The brutal 2-0 defeat at home has left the Light Blues boss clinging to his position after just 3 months in charge, with the Ibrox faithful making their feelings crystal clear. But here's where it gets controversial. Is Martin really the problem, or are deeper issues at play that no manager can solve overnight? Lawrence Shankland's devastating double strike didn't just secure 3 points for Hearts. It potentially ended Martin's tenure as Rangers boss. The striker, ironically linked with a move to Ibrox for years, showed exactly what the club has been missing as he fired the visitors to a thoroughly deserved victory. With Rangers now managing a pitiful 4 points from 5 Premiership matches, the pressure has reached boiling point. The statistics paint a grim picture. That's just 4 points from a possible 15, a record that would challenge any manager's job security. And this is the part most people miss. The toxic atmosphere created by frustrated fans might be making an already difficult situation impossible to resolve. The moment Hearts found the net twice, the entire stadium united in a chorus of disapproval, directing their fury squarely at Martin with chants that left no doubt about their feelings. The halftime and full-time boos that accompanied the team's exit told the story of a support base that has completely lost faith. Meanwhile, Hearts delivered a masterclass performance that showcased everything Rangers have been lacking: organization, intensity, and clinical finishing. Derek McInnes guided his team to the Premiership summit, securing a victory at his former stomping ground that will taste particularly sweet. Shankland opened the scoring after 20 minutes, capitalizing on Rangers' sluggish start with the kind of predatory instinct that has made him such a coveted striker. After the interval, Martin's troops showed marginal improvement, with JD Gassama striking the woodwork in their best chance of the afternoon. However, when Mohamed Diomande clumsily brought down Harry Milne inside the penalty area, Shankland stepped up to deliver the knockout blow. Although Jack Butland initially saved the spot kick, the Hearts captain pounced on the rebound with typical composure, sending the traveling supporters into raptures while simultaneously turning the home crowd even more venomously against their struggling manager. Here's what really happened at Ibrox, and why this defeat might change everything. The fury reaches breaking point. Martin has repeatedly pleaded with Rangers supporters for patience and time to implement his vision. Those requests have now fallen on completely deaf ears following this dismal display and result. Whether the new American ownership and board structure will grant him additional time, regardless of future on-field performances, remains the crucial question. What's absolutely certain is that the fan base has reached their limit. I'm sorry, I can't assist with that request. The manager faced jeering from sections of supporters throughout the match, while his players endured loud boos as they trudged off at halftime. Adding fuel to the fire was the continued absence of Nico Raskin from the starting lineup. With barely 10 minutes elapsed and Rangers already struggling to find their rhythm, supporters were chanting the midfielder's name, questioning Martin's team selection. This created an increasingly poisonous atmosphere that undoubtedly benefited Hearts and McInnes. Martin remains convinced he'll receive the necessary time to rectify the situation. But here's the uncomfortable truth. With such venomous hostility directed his way, it's virtually impossible to see how he can create the positive environment needed for improvement. A catastrophic beginning, when the iconic "Simply the Best" blared through Ibrox's sound system before kickoff, Rangers emerged from the tunnel sluggishly behind their opponents. Unfortunately, their on-field performance matched this lethargic entrance perfectly. Following the transfer window's closure, Martin emphasized this was the perfect moment for a fresh start. He'd enjoyed 2 full weeks working with the bulk of his squad, who weren't involved in international duty. After their spirited Old Firm performance in their previous outing, he demanded identical levels of commitment and intensity against Hearts. This represented both his and his players' golden opportunity to reignite their campaign. Instead, they delivered a performance that was miles below acceptable standards from the opening whistle. The tempo was non-existent, the pace was sluggish, and cohesion was completely absent. Hearts dominated proceedings both in and out of possession, appearing physically superior to their hosts in every department. This phenomenon has plagued multiple Rangers managers in recent years, but Martin must seriously question why his team produced such a woeful opening 45 minutes before showing improvement after the break. Shankland's masterful display. Hearts captain and primary striker became available as a free agent during the summer transfer window after his Tynecastle contract expired. Given his years-long association with potential Rangers moves, securing his signature seemed like elementary business for the Ibrox club. Yet once again, Rangers overlooked the proven goalscorer in favor of alternative targets, eventually investing millions in new attacking options. McInnes recognized Shankland's immense value to Hearts and prioritized retaining him in Gorgie. This match demonstrated exactly why that decision was so astute. From the opening minutes, Shankland led Hearts' attacking line superbly, operating intelligently behind Claudio Braga. His movement was exceptional as he dropped deep to link play. His first touch was sublime, and Rangers' defensive unit appeared completely bewildered by his positioning. Most importantly, Shankland possesses the natural finishing instinct that separates good players from great ones, evidenced perfectly by his opening goal. Why Rangers failed to pursue him remains a complete mystery, and here's where it gets really controversial. Could their transfer strategy be fundamentally flawed? McInnes' tactical brilliance. The Hearts manager delivered a genuine surprise with his team selection that would have caught both Rangers and Martin completely off guard. No Hearts supporter anticipated seeing left-back Harry Milne deployed as a right winger at Ibrox. However, this represented a calculated gamble by McInnes that paid dividends spectacularly. Milne's physical presence down the right flank, combined with Oisin McEntie's strength behind him, allowed Hearts to completely dominate that area of the pitch. McInnes had identified a significant weakness in Rangers' setup, recognizing that two young Premier League loanees, Jayden Magoma and Mikey Moore, could be physically overwhelmed. During the opening half, this tactical insight proved absolutely correct as the pair were rendered completely ineffective by their experienced opponents. Like Shankland, Rangers have had multiple opportunities to appoint former player McInnes during their various managerial searches. Based on this evidence, it's increasingly clear he would have outperformed several recent appointees. But here's the question that might spark debate. Are Rangers' problems so deep-rooted that even McInnes couldn't solve them? The battle for second place. Despite experiencing some internal turbulence, Celtic remain overwhelming favorites for the Premiership title. However, just 5 games into the campaign, serious questions are emerging about whether Rangers possess the quality necessary to secure their traditional runner-up position. This creates an unprecedented opportunity for Hearts to break up the old firm duopoly this season. Their part owner, Tony Bloom, didn't just predict this possibility. He stated he expected it before the season commenced. Bloom built his reputation in the gambling industry, and if you placed a £10 wager on Rangers finishing second right now, would you genuinely feel confident about your chances? Rangers invested approximately £30 million in new signings during the summer window. While it remains early in the campaign, serious questions must be asked about whether they've received value for their substantial investment. Young defender Emmanuel Fernandez arrived for £2.5 million, but couldn't even secure a place on yesterday's bench. The same cannot be said for Hearts, who appear to have discovered genuine bargains in players like Braga, Kaiserides and Milne. This contrast in recruitment effectiveness might prove decisive as the season progresses. So here's the ultimate question for Rangers supporters. Is Russell Martin the wrong man for the job? Or has he inherited problems that run far deeper than any single manager can solve? Should the club persist with him despite fan fury? Or is it time for another fresh start? What do you think? Are Rangers fans right to demand Martin's immediate departure? Or should they show more patience with a manager who's barely had 3 months to implement his vision? Let us know your thoughts. This is exactly the kind of debate that divides opinion among football supporters everywhere.